Well, if we say our opinion, it goes far, whether we want or not. If we don't want it to go far, then we don't say it.
But the question is, if we are about to sit here and only get things, or is there a place to ask questions or
ask
doubt,
questions,
or put
yeah.
doubt because we have doubt?
Ask questions, yes.
Okay.
Okay, ask questions.
Putting doubt is not legitimate?
By all means. Well, sometimes, you know, when somebody's so firm, this is my opinion, and doesn't really want to change it, this is what I mean, then there's no point discussing the whole thing, is it? Now we can discuss that if you would like. Whether there is...
I go on learning and listening.
Huh?
I'm saying, we're saying a lot of things.
Yeah?
And it's really a question, because if people come and want to be Buddhist and Bodhisattvas, really they should just come and take all the material and put it inside. But I have doubt in everything.
Yeah.
And that's the way I learn things.
That's okay.
Take what I am convinced, not take what I'm not convinced.
That's fine. That is fine. This is what I'm saying. But I don't want to give you something that you don't want to take. This is my point here. I think I also said it at the beginning, this is going to be like a department store, a supermarket. There's a lot of things that you can take, but you know, you're not going to argue with the manager of the supermarket when something is in there that you don't need or you don't like. You just let it be. That's what I mean. Yeah, this is what I mean. If you want to clear up your doubts, yes, by all means, then we can have discussions. Yeah. But if you're quite firm on your opinion already and you just want to give me your opinion, then I'm not going to argue with you. I just let you be in your opinion. Anyway, so we see that how we depend on others. So in order to repay that kindness, then the motivation comes. I want to attain enlightenment in order to be of benefit to others. And this is a big thing. I mean, do you recognize that, how big that is? Or is that also seems very easy to do? To not kind of hate your enemies. And I'm not talking about big enemies, I'm talking about the one who is always putting his car in your private parking lot. I'm talking about that person. Yeah? Or who is making parties at 3 o'clock in the morning when you want to sleep. Or is not, you know, I don't know, sometimes people have to communal where they have to clean the staircase. Everybody has their own apartment, but then that's their part, so they have to clean the stairs. Do you have this system also here? Does it work?
No, we don't have this system.
Okay, so then you just go, okay, he didn't clean it, so I'll do it. Happily. Do you? So you see, if we're not even able to do this happily, because I can see it in myself also, you know, we have this with old paper that we have to bundle it up, and then sometimes people put it down in the basement, and then they don't take it out. So some people, I usually take it out, because they don't. So then people tell me I'm stupid. I said, look, I am a Buddhist, I'm a Mahayan Buddhist, I made a vow to liberate all beings from suffering. If I can't even take their paper out, which takes 2 seconds, well, what am I doing here?
Shall we give them the sign, I'm a happy friar?
Exactly. You learn, as a bodhisattva, you learn to be a happy friar. Somebody doesn't do the job, even if it's not your kind of responsibility, this is how you start. You learn to train to do this happily. That's difficult. Because we have to give up on our, I don't want, you know. And it's a shame because you had such a good system here in Israel with the kibbutz. Why did it fail?
Agreed.
Because of some people are really good at working and some other people are not. In a way, for me, there are no lazy people. There are some people who naturally can work very hard and some other people just can't. And if you are the one who can work very hard, be happy because you have a much better position than the one who cannot work because everybody's criticizing. Do you see what I mean? And this is where it failed. I'm working so hard and they don't do anything. And it's a shame. It was a wonderful system. So that's the bodhisattva vehicle, the kibbutz. If I have the strength and the force to do it, I do it happily. So they don't have to do it. So you need to decide if you want to be the happy friar or not. So again, we need to go in steps how to develop that. So if you go to page 10, yeah,
Can you just explain bodhicitta and bodhisattva is the same?
no. Bodhicitta, like the word body means full awakening. Citta means mind, or sometimes heart, because mind and heart is the heart of enlightenment, the mind of enlightenment. So I have ego citta, spontaneous, like everybody else here probably, okay? I first. That's a very strong instinct that we have. Then when some people come that I really like, okay, I include them in that ego citta because they are my friends. It's a mind who goes spontaneously in one direction. So bodhicitta means it's the mind who goes in the direction of enlightenment, not happiness now, but lasting happiness of enlightenment. Now, this wish to be free from suffering, this wish to be happy, we already have. So I hope you have this ego citta, that you're looking really well after yourself, spontaneously, that you do things that are good for yourself, spontaneously. Do you have that? Do you know what I'm talking about? When you go down to the dining room, it's not always paired with wisdom. You take what you like. You not necessarily take from the food what is good for you, but you take what you like. This kind of, very spontaneously, you don't need to think. It goes very automatically. So this kind of, the concern to be happy, the wish to be happy, the interest to be happy, what we do with bodhicitta, we expand it to all beings. Now somebody who has this mind is called a bodhisattva. Sattva means being. Yeah? So it's a being who has this mind, who wants everybody to be happy. But not just, it's not a social thing here, like social work or something. It's really the happiness of full awakening, which is totally free from all shortcomings of samsara, like birth, old age, death, sickness, and all this. Yeah? So that's that mind. The interest, we should maybe call it interest or attitude, maybe better. The bodhisattva attitude. The same way, a mother. How many of you have children? No, you don't need to hold up your hands. For those of you who have children, your children are naturally included in your wish for happiness. You don't need to work on it. Even your child says, "Oh, mommy, I hate you," when they're small. When they're bigger, then it becomes more serious. I'm not sure. Yeah, but when they're small, when they're 5 years old, you have this outpour of love towards them because you can see they suffer because of that they are hating you. Spontaneously, you don't need to think. When your partner says that, you don't have an outpour of love because you think he does it on purpose. Do you see what I mean? So again, I'm trying to take a mother's love, that we can do it. We can love people even they hate us. Yeah? When we have interest in them, like a mother for the child, or a grandmother or grandfather, or sometimes friends also. Yeah? So what we're trying to do is to include all beings into that interest for their well-being and for their welfare. And for some people that can seem, what? No, thank you very much. I don't want to do this. This is why also, for some Buddhists, you stop at the self-liberation thing, because you think, no, thank you. That is too big for me. That's fine. It's legitimate. The Buddha taught that vehicle. It's okay. Yeah? So, since this is not easy to develop, again, one could use a method to develop that mind. Yeah? And here we have two different methods, or three methods. So the first one, the 7-part cause and effect method, I think we leave aside because we will stumble over it already at the first step. Because the first step is seeing all beings as our dear mothers. And the reasoning behind this, I'm just telling you the reasoning, and then we go maybe to the next method, which is easier to grasp. So, if you do accept that that there's rebirth and that mind has no beginning, we have had numberless rebirths. There is numberless beings. So that, again, if you look at it logically, that means the chance that each of us has been mother, father, enemy, friend, boss, employer, partner, everything. Because beginningless time. Yeah? If you look at it logically. It's very difficult to fit it in our little box up here. Yeah? So that means, and then one doesn't think of the mother in your life, in this life. Most of the Asian people, they have no problems with this. Because when they hear the word mother, they go, oh. Because somehow the Asian kids have more respect for their parents. You know, Ribu Rinpoche at one point he said, when I come to the West, I find it so amazing. If you see parents in India, they make their kids work. They don't really play with them. They kind of, they're very strict with them. And the kids have so much respect. Not really fear, but really natural respect for their parents. I come to the West. The parents, they try everything. They give everything to the children that they want. They even buy books to learn how to raise children. And look what the children do. And we say, I don't understand this. Yeah. You see, in Asia, children have a lot of responsibility. It's also changing, yeah, but like in India, how many of you have been to India? How many of you have seen kids working in chai shops? All of you. They have to help for the family to survive when they are young, when they are poor, yeah? So they have a lot of responsibility. They look after their smaller siblings. They're not going, I don't want to do it, yeah? But they have no power. Here, the kids have a lot of power and almost zero responsibility. So I'm not saying this one is better than that one. I think it would be good if there would be a little bit more balance into the whole thing. Yeah. So as a child, if you see, one learns or one trains the mind to see the kindness of the mother. So every time you have a happy moment in your life, why do you have this happy moment? Huh?
I have a life. Someone gave me
Because you have a body. It's nice taste, good smell, the wine, Why can you taste wine? Because your mom didn't say, oh no, thank you, I don't want any children. She wanted children. So now you can taste your wine and be very happy about the wine. So next time you drink wine, Tamar, you thank your mom. No, I'm not joking. This is how we start training. Every time there is a moment of happiness, you go, wow, it's because I have a body. I have senses. Somebody has given me this body. On top of it, your mother keeps you alive when you are totally not able to look after yourself as a baby. And it's a lot of work. If you don't believe me, then go and stay with somebody who has small children. Or if you are a mother now, remember that your mom felt exactly the same and had to make exactly the same efforts as you are doing now. There was somebody, a man who said, I hated my dad for my whole life until I had my own children. And then I started to understand what my father wanted and what his motivation was. Because also his kids are not doing what he wants them to do. Yeah? And then he started to have a good relationship with his father. So having children, it's good to kind of think, wow, my mother did all this for me. Yeah? And the more you expect, like Western children, the more you expect how your mother should be, then the less you will be happy. But just this, like she gave us this life, she looked after us when we were a baby, she made sure that we got an education, it's good enough. Our parents are also deluded, Nobody has children, makes children to say, I make these children so I can treat them in a bad way. Nobody. Yeah? So this is the reasoning behind that. So then we see all beings as having been a good mother to us at one point or the other, and then the heart should open kind of spontaneously. For us, this first step is too big, because we see our own mother. So, again, you don't have to hold up your hand, but just look at your relationship to your mom. Yeah. If your heart spontaneously open, then you can use that method. If it doesn't, which very often it doesn't, unfortunately, then we use the second one. So exchanging self for others. So here also it goes in steps. So the first step, also very difficult, is equanimity. Is to change our attitude that, this is a real nice person and I want this to be my friend, so I'm friendly to them. This is a real not good person, I definitely don't want to have any contact with them. I don't let them near me. If they need help, they can go somewhere else to find help. Do you have some people like this in your life that spontaneously would think like this? Yeah, let's be honest. That's the situation that we're in. And then the interest, wanting to change that, needs to be there. Because as we discussed in the car, there's some people who say, I'm looking after myself, I'm looking after my family, what happens to the rest of the world, I don't care. That's what most people think. But this is different here. Because we care about the welfare of all beings. A Buddha, an awakened being, wants everybody to be happy. Like the president of the United Nations. Who is it now? Gutierrez, I think. Yeah? He is concerned about all the countries of the world. He tries to kind of make laws and do things so that everybody benefits from it. But then you have others who only have my country. So they only look after their country. So usually we are presidents of our circle here that we create. We have individual circles. We're not like Gutierrez or Kofi Annan or these people who really tried very, very hard to create peace in the world, to make laws or to make things that everybody benefits from them. So the mind that we want to develop here is that mind, so that everybody benefits, for the benefit of all. So sometimes we have to step back if it's for the benefit of all. So that again goes in steps. So the first step is yes, I see this is a good mind, kind of breaking up a little bit. These ones deserve it and they don't. To create the mind, everybody deserves to be happy. And if I want to have a happier life, I need to make people around me happy, because otherwise they're not going to let me in peace. We don't have to destroy enemies. If we make them our friends, then we are protected. Because if you have a true friend, that friend would never harm you. Now there's true friends and not true friends, we also know that. So here we become true friends to all beings. That's a huge step. So first you need to see the advantage of that mind. So that, again, as I said, you discuss in the discussion group. Whether that would be, to work on this, that to break down these very black lines that we make around this friend, somebody, I like this person, I don't like this person, and this one is a stranger. Because these situations constantly change. It's only our ego mind who makes it like that, who makes it solid like that. Okay? The next point that you think about, and this also helps with your equanimity, is the disadvantage of only looking after myself, of only being concerned about my own happiness. So now you can participate a little bit. What is the disadvantage of that? So just close your eyes for 2 seconds and think about a person who is very selfish. Do you know somebody like this? Do you? Somebody who you think is really a selfish person, only concerned about their happiness. Then look at your heart. How do you feel towards that person? And be honest. Okay, it's enough. Is your heart open or is it closed?
open. He is suffering a lot.
That's good. That's the attitude. That would be the attitude of a bodhisattva. Somebody who always sits by the window in your travels, who always takes the best food, who always wants this. And why is he suffering? We see that he's suffering. Why is he suffering?
First of all, he is alone. First of all.
He's alone because nobody likes these people. So then they try to get more and more and more from the outside. They try to fill that hole that they feel inside. They feel poor. This is why they're so demanding. See, if somebody feels happy, they're not demanding. They're not selfish. If somebody's really happy, you can give and you can share. It's absolutely not a problem. So what we do, we get angry at these people, usually. But that would be the right attitude. They're suffering. Because I'm not capable of giving them, of course if you are capable, but it's like, it's very difficult to give these people respect, love, and, you know, when they want something, to give them that happily, you know, like these, I give them very happily to somebody who wants them. So, do you see what I mean? They want something, we feel that they want something, and we have a tendency to, no, not you. You're always demanding things. I'm not giving it to you. So now again, it's not about the other person, what you should do with the other person, whether you give or not. It's about our attitude. That if it would be beneficial, because this whole thing, compassion comes with wisdom. You're not just giving to somebody who always wants everything what they want. You maybe also teach them to have some restraint, so that they can also taste the freedom of not needing to want. Desire is a need. I don't have enough. I need this. It's a poverty mind, desire. You're not happy with what is there, so you need something else in order to fill that hole that we very often feel. Okay, so the disadvantage of a person who is very self-cherishing is, one thing, they don't get from others what we all want. Affection, love, and all this is very difficult to give it to them. Can you see that? Maybe Ben Sui, you're not, and it would be great if you really can give love to, not necessarily material things, but really to give affection to somebody who is so self-concerned. It's very difficult. Yeah? In order to be able to do that, we need to see the self-cherishing, because when we're not able to give them what they want, we are self-cherishing. It's our ego, it's not our wisdom and compassion who says, okay, open your heart towards that person. It's the ego saying, not him. He's not going to get it. Yeah? So again, from the Buddhist point of view, self-cherishing is dangerous, because whenever we have a negative emotion present, the root is I want or I don't want. Whether this is rational and logic or not, we don't care. Yeah? Like when somebody steals my things, it's not because they hate me, it's because they want my possessions. They're absolutely not concerned about my happiness. Yeah? If you kill a mosquito, you are not concerned about the mosquito's happiness. What else did we have? Sexual misconduct. That's very strong, but it's like, I'm using the strongest example again. If a man rapes a woman, do you think he's concerned about her happiness? What is he concerned about? Huh? His need. And it has to be fulfilled now. And you get blind, you know. And then when the need is gone, maybe then they realize, and then the whole life you have to suppress it, you have to hide it, you can't admit it. So much suffering. So much suffering. And on top of it, creating causes to be raped in the future. Where does it come from? My need. I want or I don't want. I don't want this mosquito in my room. Yeah? This is the disadvantage of self-cherishing. One thing, it doesn't fill the hole that we all have. You know, do you feel sometimes this hole, kind of in my life, shit, something is missing? Do you feel that sometimes? This is what we search, and then we usually search outside. I don't have enough friends. I don't have enough fame. I don't have enough knowledge. I don't have enough pleasure. Instead of saying, I don't love properly. My heart is not open. You see, when the heart is open, there is no hole. When the heart is closed, then there seems to be something lacking because we're so alone. When you are depressed, the self-cherishing is at its highest. I am the worst of all. I can never do anything right. Nobody loves me. And if the whole world comes and tells you how much they love you, you refuse to believe it. And you see, depression can be very easily broken. And the ego loves it. This is the problem. This I that doesn't exist from its own side, in order to prove that it's there, it needs food. So depression is big food for that ego. And if you could have some humor about your depression, it's gone. So have you ever tried to cheer somebody up who is depressed? Huh?
Impossible.
Sometimes it's possible, but you need to persevere because you see the effort that this person is making not to laugh. You see, they want to get out of this black hole, but they refuse to get out somehow. This is the very little wisdom of self-cherishing. And then they stop taking care of themselves. They stop to eat. They want to live, but they stop to eat. They want to be happy, but they stop to laugh. By the way, if you have a problem with depression, make sure that you sleep more. Because depression very often comes from exhaustion. Very, very often. So rest. Rest as much as you can. So I'm not talking about clinical depression. I'm talking about, these moments that we have when we feel like very closed. And it's difficult. I don't know, maybe you don't have these moments. I have them. It's difficult to go outside, It's difficult to go and see people. It's difficult to even answer the telephone. There's a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, and you feel very incapable. Do you know what I'm talking about, or you don't? Yeah. So these moments, these moments, the self-cherishing, I am so bad, is really big. So then knowing about emptiness and the I does not exist the way that it appears, we do that tomorrow, then that can help lift it up a little bit. Or also a very good antidote for depression is, when you're lying in your dark room already, open the curtains for Christ's sake, but you don't want to, to really challenge that mind who resists, who one hand wants to be happy, but does everything not to be happy. Open the curtains, and then you close your eyes and you think about all the people who have been kind to you. And this includes all the people who have not harmed you. Because you see, I think all the people who come to these courses, for me, you're all very kind. Because one thing, you make the effort to listen to me, even though sometimes I say things that you don't like so much. But you're not harming me on top of it. So whenever I see these people in front of me, I have thoughts like, wow, they're so kind. For me, all of you, you are so kind. So if you put all these people in front of you that have not harmed you, but could have harmed you, then try to see what happens with your depression. We will do the meditation after the break. We'll try that. Because all of a sudden you go, oh yeah, all these people in front of me, they're not so realized like Ben Zvi, who says, somebody who's self-cherishing is suffering. They also like me because I'm nice to them. So if I would be the monster that I think I am now, they wouldn't be kind to me, but they are kind to me. And then also a sense of kind of responsibility comes up. Because all of a sudden the heart starts to open when you do that. It might work, it might not work, so you need to repeat it. It's a very good antidote for depression. So you kind of, one thing is you need to think about many people, because very quickly this space in front of you becomes very crowded. What do you think, yes or no? Yes, of course. People who know you, people who include you in their WhatsApp group and all this, they're kind because they have accepted you. or in your followers on your Facebook, or I don't know, even you don't know them, they're kind, they put a like. They accepted your friendship thing. Yeah? So when we think like many people,